We're very lucky, we say it all the time, to have players visit us here on this show, and one of the great careers at this level came to an end last weekend. He is a man who's put a smile on the face of everybody who loves their footy, and what a pleasure it is to welcome him to the show tonight, a celebration of his career. Please make him welcome Eddie Betts, everybody.
Welcome, mate. Good stuff, buddy. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
How's it settling, the notion that that's it? Has it settled on you okay?
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't think it's settled because every time, you know, once we finish footy, you had a plan to go to, and you'll train in the next 3 to 4 weeks, where now I don't have to train in 3 to 4 weeks. Normally I would have a break now because I know I've got to do hard running, and I'll catch that fitness back up, but now that I'm not going to do the hard running, I've got to continue to keep working. And I don't want to come back from a big deficit.
Come and spend a week with me on the couch. I will personally train you through this difficult period. Eddie, transition for you.
350 games, 640 goals. We're just going to celebrate your career with you tonight and look back at some of the great moments.
That's incredible.
The package we're about to look at, not one of you, just make a note while you're watching this, not one of these 4 goals of the year are actually in this package.
We'll get to those later.
The stuff that we saw you do at AFL level, when you're a kid, were you doing this stuff in your junior ranks?
Yeah, we did. Most of those goals come second of goal of the year too. They should that one comes second as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's the pocket.
But, yeah, we used to do it a lot. And growing up in Kalgoorlie, you know, with all my brothers and cousins there, we'll play on the front lawn, we'll put shoes as goals, and we'll kick it up, marks up, and every little angle that we'll look through, every door you'll try kick them into, and it was just a lot of fun.
Did you ever have a coach try and iron that out? You play the percentages, line and length footy. Did you ever have anyone try and sort of say, listen, mate, there's a time and a place for this sort of stuff, but we need you to be more kind of predictable from time to time?
Nah, not really, because if someone's in a better position, I'll give it to them. I love, you know, handing it off and getting more enjoyment out of giving someone else a goal. But a lot of the coaches say, you know, if you want to go for it, you got the licence to. The thing is, I get told off by a lot of local footy coaches. They said, "Oh, my kids just go to the pocket."
That's exactly right.
They go to the pocket.
That's exactly right.
Where it's your fault that they go to the pocket. And now I've always told kids, make sure you have, you know, 10 shots in front. And then once you kick 10, then go to the pocket.
I love it. Hey, there was a fairly emotional tribute you made to close family and friends immediately after your last game, and you were pretty specific about who you were thanking. Let's have a look.
My mother and all my auntie and all my cousins are back in Kalgoorlie at 12 Boomerang Crescent. I love you all, Mum and Auntie Tessa. If we didn't make that sacrifice, you know, 20 years ago, I wouldn't be where I am, so thank you very much. And to my father and my grandmother back in Port Lincoln, Nana Vita, and Dad at 47 North Street, Curtin Point, I love you.
That's fantastic. You would do that.
Well, there are 2 houses that I grew up with. You know, that's where my footy journey started, in Kalgoorlie at 12 Boomerang Crescent, because that was our go-to house. That was where my Nana and Papa's house is. And so everyone lived in that house. There was like 18 kids running around there, and if you want to know where someone is, go to Nana and Pop's house at 12 Boomerang Crescent in Kalgoorlie and catch up with them. And so all my family, because I started my AFL career from that house, I thought it would be pleasant to everyone get there to watch my last game at my Nana and Pop's house.
That's a great tribute. And I'd like to say a quick cheerio to everyone at 15 Fletcher Road in Frankston.
Who's that?
Magistrates Court. It's a very special place for me. It's a very special place. And of course, 183 Swan Street, Richmond, big high. Kebab shop. Kebab shop.
Touching. It's so touching. Andy touched on it before. Your junior football. I've been to a few Indigenous communities and I've seen the skill levels in some of the kids, the way they play. Tell us about where you grew. I mean, you said you played there at home. What about junior footy?
I played. First junior footy was in Kalgoorlie at Mines Rovers Football Club.
Okay, right.
Yeah, you see the photos.
That's Mines?
That's Mines.
There you go.
Yeah, a little kid down the front there.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I started my junior footy there, and then my dad was back in Port Lincoln. I played 2 years there, under 12s and under 13s, I think, and then I went back to Port Lincoln and lived with my father. I went to Mallee Park Football Club, which is a great, you know, Indigenous football club in Port Lincoln, where a lot of AFL players have come out of. You know, Sean Burgo and Peter Burgo and Brian Pickett, Harry Miller, Aaron Davey, Lindsay Thomas. So there's a lot of lot of talent that comes
So
through
are you
there.
up and back between Port Lincoln and Kalgoorlie a lot as a kid?
Yeah, across the Nullarbor.
Yeah.
Across the Nullarbor. Yeah,
That's an away game, isn't it? We're playing away today, guys.
We broke down a few times, but you get to go see the whales, the Great White, and it was great. You know, I had a couple of little toys to play marks up with in the back, and that kept me occupied the whole way.
Even back then, precocious skills. Were you sort of lair-rising in pockets and kicking goals like that?
Yeah, we did. And all I wanted to do is be like my older cousins and older brothers. And if they were determined to move away from family, they could play AFL footy because they're so good at it. And I wanted to be like my dad and my uncles. And it was just fantastic, childhood growing up, looking up to all your cousins and uncles. Hard
to believe that in your draft year, you're overlooked. Now that we know what you've become as a player, overlooked in the national draft, picked up in the pre-season draft. You play your first game in 2004 against a pretty uncompromising North Melbourne outfit, Ed. What are your memories of this day?
I got told during the week Dennis was going to play me, and I was in a meeting before this game, and I was just looking at the board, and because I couldn't really read or write and didn't understand the words, I was trying to understand the words on the board. I was like, well, what do those mean? And Dennis asked me a question, and I was like,
so were you freaking out?
I froze.
Yeah.
And everyone started laughing, and then I ran out on the ground, and because I used to go with Byron Pickett at Etihad Stadium back then, or Telstra Dome as it was called back then, and when you're running out and all the fans are there, you're watching, it's the most fans you played in front of. It was pretty surreal.
Did you ever play Princes Park? Did you ever play any?
I played one game, and it was the last ever game. There was Cooters 250.
Is that right?
We played Melbourne, and we lost, but I played one game there.
So otherwise it was all MCG and the
all
big
MCG,
grounds,
yeah. So
you came into a team that had established superstars. It would have been hard to mark out your own territory. I'm going to show you an example of this. This is all the heavy lifting done by Eddie Betts. Collects the ball outside 50, dishes it off here, and then just keeps belting down to the contest. There he goes and makes his move. Chris Judd standing there, doing not a lot, gets the ball, and
Judd, brilliantly done to Betts. Great stuff by Judd.
He tried to have 5 minutes, and I'm running off. I'm going.
All the heavy lifting is done.
Great work by Judd.
Judd got nominated for Goal of the Year for that.
He got the 3 that game too. I got 2 brown levers.
I've got to ask you the question about the big shorts. Now, I mean, you're famous for wearing the big shorts. Tell us about them. Why wear them so big?
The hanger. I like baggy. I like baggy to feel comfortable, and I like basketball as well. But then when I got drafted, I don't know if you knew, I got drafted and I was a bit overweight and a bit chubby, and I had to lose weight when I got drafted.
Right.
And so I wanted to wear big shorts so it didn't make my ass look big. But then over time I kept them and I shrunk, and then I just...
You were trying to con the trainers.
I was trying, because Dennis Pagan told me off one year, because I used to run, and people that can't know that, I used to run with my hand in my jumper like this. Really? I used to run a 3K time trial with my jersey, just so my guts...
That's so you wouldn't press against the
jumper? Yeah, wouldn't press against the T-shirt. I was so embarrassed. And
so when they said you've got to do some gut running...
that was really gut running.
I saw a picture of you in your early days at Carlton. Not only were your shorts big, but even your long pants were big. So they're funny what photos they make you take in your first wish. They showed Cade Simpson, and Cade's hanging in a tree with his flip-flops on. So I think that was in the back street of Lygon Street. I got drafted that day, and they told me to just jump up and down with the flares on. And
you're allowed to say no.
You can't say no.
Not at that age. Well, you made a certain choice with your pants selection, as did this bloke, Warwick Kappa, who pretty much is wearing some Oz kicker shorts there. I see. Not a look you'd covet at any stage, Eddie?
No, I tried to put on the short shorts, and they're not me. They're not flattering. They look different. They look completely different.
So those shorts, by the way, would have lowered Warwick's sperm count. And let's be honest, that's not a bad thing. Really, is it? You know what I mean?
Eddie,
you need a shoehorn to get out of it.
We all know kids that want to kick goals like you, but what they don't appreciate is what you can do aerially. You could absolutely take some hangers. I mean, it was incredible what you could do when your feet left the ground. I'll give you this. You can take the mark of the century or kick the goal of the century. What do you take?
Well, my son Lewis is sick of goal of the years at the moment. He keeps asking me to try to take a mark of the year.
Look at that.
I tried to a lot this year, but I just couldn't hang on to any.
The last game you tried one too. You got about halfway up on Bloke's hamstring.
So I've just tried to jump, but as a small, I've always told to crump, but I don't listen. I like that.
So, mark of the century or goal of the century, what would you, if you can only have one?
I don't know, maybe, mark of the century. No, I'll say goal.
You've got to say goal.
Well, you nearly took mark of the century about 10 times. Put it this way, you weren't going to die wondering. Have a look at some of these attempts, which are some of my favourite moments on a footy field. Whoa! And Eddie!
I haven't touched him yet. That one I should have marked.
That would have been a good mark.
That would have been the mark of the year. That would have been the mark of this year.
The North guy's shocked.
He backed back. That should have been a free kick.
You were tunnelled.
I should have took the one this year with on Rory. Rory actually said to me that that wasn't pleasant, me being in his face there. Yeah. That one where I dropped. Rory Sloane.
That would have been the mark of the year had you taken that.
Jack Rewalt would have really spent that.
I saw you take a mark over Chris Judd. It was great work by Chris Judd. Great work.
We'll get to him all. Carlton supporters wish you were playing this weekend. Of course, you're not. We'll get your thoughts on the Port Adelaide-Geelong game in a moment. It kicks off tomorrow night. We can't wait for this final series to commence, and this does promise to be a great game. Two incredible milestones out of the Geelong team here. Tommy Hawkins plays his 300th. And it's gone a bit under the radar this week. Joel Selwood equals Corey Enright on 332 for the most games played by a Geelong player. So there's two pretty significant milestones being established by Geelong players here.
Yeah, well, great. Whatever.
Who wins? Have you got any sort of tipping acumen at all? Have you got a gut feel on who wins?
No, not really. But the way they matched up last time they played there, Geelong won, I think, didn't they? They got over top of Port.
I couldn't remember. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. Yeah,
they did. I think Tomahawk playing his 300th game too. They want to get up for Tomahawk, but Port are playing some great footy.
So talking to Port Adelaide,
great game.
the crosstown rival. No one from Carlton wanted to see you go back in 2013. What was the story behind this? I mean, you ended up being a magnificent player for Adelaide before you came back. But why did this happen?
Yeah, it was tough. Because we had a young son and. Wanted a bit of security at that time as well. And Adelaide offered me 4 years. Carlton offered me 2. And I said to Carlton at that time, just match at least half of what Adelaide offered and I'll stay no matter what.
So half the contract, half the duration, but the same money for the half.
Yeah, and I would stay because I love the club. I'm a life member and... they weren't budging. Obviously, what every club do, they're waiting for some other player to come in and they want to make the club better. And so I decided it was really tough. I hugged Cade Simpson and I cried and Jared Waite on the way out and I said, I won't be coming back. Well, I came back, but... But, it was just the toughest decision I made. I went home and I said to my wife, are we making the right decision? Packing up and, going over to Adelaide in those early days, a lot of scrutiny as well over there because it's a two-team town.
Yeah.
They signed me 4 years on a certain amount and a lot of scrutiny in those early days and, you felt the pressure you needed to perform and I guess going over, I think it was the best thing for me in a way of my footy and my leadership to develop because at Carlton we had a certain little group and I wouldn't change that group because I still love them, but we took the mickey out of each other a lot. Yeah. So every time you spoke up, I said, what the hell do you say that for? And then I would put you down and make fun of you. Yeah. Where when I went to Adelaide, I spoke up and I got praise for it and everyone listened. And so I got confidence out of that and I grew and grew and grew. Yeah, right. And that helped my footy as well. And I guess it helped me use my voice and to become a leader. And I really enjoyed my time there.
One thing I noticed, you had an incredible pre-match routine in Adelaide. You do a bit of basketball kind of stuff. I was doing all your smooth, silky skills.
Beautiful.
And
look at this.
with amazing moves, even basketball moves. I think your mate wasn't quite as good as you.
Yep.
Because I'm a forward, I like kicking goals. Brownie's a defender. He doesn't see the...
Hey, don't go anywhere. We're going to get you to talk about your great goals. The very great...
We've got 4 goals of the year we are going to show on the other side of this thing. You have to see this to believe.
We'll go through them forensically with Mick and Eddie on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere. More Eddie Betts when we come back. the Master's apprentice here. This is the home of the Betts family. There's the Master, and here's the apprentice, young Louis, who's 8 years old. He's doing what he's seen the old man do 1,000 times. Eddie, is he doing it a bit better than the old man? Some of this stuff from your 8-year-old son is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, he is pretty good at kicking around corners, check side snaps. But he can't kick us that shot. So I want him to learn in front how to kick. Like he actually can kick like left foot. He's a left footer. Yep. I don't know where that comes from, but he's a left footer and he can kick left foot check side, left foot snaps. But his set shot, he can't kick straight.
So that looks like to me like the Louis Betts corridor.
Yeah, well, I had chicken nuggets on it. We did a thing with Adelaide at that time, and I said, listen, if you kick this in, you beat me, you get chicken nuggets for dinner. Right. And he won the chicken nuggets.
Right, there you go. So
were you his assistant coach?
Yeah, I was his assistant coach this year. Nah, I lasted one game. I got frustrated with him because I want him to run. So I put the clipboard down. Now you take this, and I started walking up inside the branch like, Louis, get into the game. But he watches me like I'm not really that inside that midfield in there and get it. I'm kind of an outside kind of player, so he watches me a lot, and that's what he gets. And he said, Dad, but you're not that midfield that goes in. I'm following you. I'm like, okay, sorry, I won't tell you the run then.
do as I say, don't do as I do.
Hey, can I say this? Well, one of the members of our team, Fitzy, who can't be here for lockdown reasons, and he's in Sydney, when he heard you were coming on, he said he is not leaving that studio till I have delivered a piece for him. This is from Fitzy.
Eddie, you beautiful man, it's Fitzy here. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart and every Crows supporter for Eddie's Pocket and creating the greatest highlights package of all time, mate. It's been unbelievable. And also, thank you, Ed, for teaching our kids through your social media and your children how to bend the ball around a hallway at home and kick it into the goals. It's been amazing. Oh, what the... What are you running away from? What's happened to your room? Boys, what's happened?
We accidentally broke the window, but Eddie Betts would be proud of us. Go on, Eddie Betts!
Thanks a lot, Ed.
We'll get the front bar to fix that up, Fitzy.
You go a long way back with David Teagan. We know what's happened at the footy club today. There's big Brad Fisher in the background. Then another one of your great teammates. That's from 20 years ago. That's a long time ago. Have you caught up with him today?
No, yeah, I spoke to him today. He's doing okay. Obviously, the news is still raw. Yep. He still thought he was going to get the job, but obviously, he found out today that he wasn't. So I guess it's now figuring out the next part of his life and journey.
Yep.
But yeah, he wanted the best for the Carlton Football Club. He wanted us to progress and play finals footy, and he cared a lot for the boys in the football club. And yeah, it's just sad to see the way that he went out.
Indeed, it was. We've got a segment here we love. It's called Rewrite the Rules. Eddie Betts. It's brought to us thanks to Carlton Zero. And it's a time to just sit back, and we're in the hands of a couple of magicians.
This is a special one tonight. Yep. 4 times goal of the year. We haven't even shown them as yet in the packages. We're about to step it up a notch. Would you mind, if you would, talking us through each and every one of these as we show them? Let's go the first time you won goal of the year, which was 2006 versus the Pies, round 21 at the MCG.
Gary is lapping a long ball. DeLuca, Clement in front, Loney. Didak been reported the smother by Betts. Kept it alive. The impossible goal!
What's going on? What were you thinking?
I didn't know Scotland got knocked out, though. He got knocked out just by Alan Didak just before this play in the middle, so there was a big fight on, and the ball got kicked down. I think Tarkin Lockyer went to hand pass to Simon Prestigiamo, and I smothered it and went to the boundary. I knew Feb was inside. I didn't know Feb was there, but watching that footage, he wanted the ball, and I don't know, I just went for goal and it went through.
It went through.
Well, just as a Collingwood supporter, I reckon it was out of bounds. Sorry to rain on your parade, but out of bounds.
So there's no time to think about that. That's pure instinct, right?
I think in times like that where, and I've been asked this question a lot, it feels like slow motion, but it's not, and you haven't got time to think. And And when you're in the pocket like that, you got to come up with, are you going to dribble it along the ground if someone's in the goal square? You got to check side to kick it high, or all those little parts play in your head. But it's you know, you just get it and go.
Yeah.
But it feels slow motion. It's weird, kind of.
Yeah.
So that was the first of 4.
This next one's
the second one, is this your favourite?
Oh, this is
2015 versus Freo, round 8, Adelaide Oval.
Great head-to-head. Dangerfield wins that again. Jenkins tried to burst through. Eddie Betts. Not his pocket.
Stop that.
No way, not from there.
So, Eddie, there's a bit to unpack here. So, that's left foot non-preferred.
Out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's left foot non-preferred. It's a torp. It's from 50.
It's been pouring.
It's raining. Yeah. What kind of decision-making is that?
I have no idea. We do practice a lot of those kicks at training, but I don't know why that come to my head. When you looked up, I think there was only Tex and Charlie Cameron in the 450 with their opponents, and I don't know why I went for a torp, but I did. And it kind of like the ball went out and bended back and skidded when it hit the wet, just skidded straight through. I think if it was dry, I don't reckon it would have went in.
So at the moment that left your boot, do you remember thinking, I think it's going to go through?
Yeah,
no?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It's one of the most... I've never seen anything else like that
it's ridiculous.
In my time. Let's go to the third one, if we could, Eddie. This is 2016 versus GWS, round 10, Adelaide Oval.
It's just stupid.
Again, it's high. Oh, both Giants went up, and that was potentially dangerous because it was Crows with the numbers at ground level. It's still in. Eddie fooled them all. Escaped. Eddie Betts.
Eddie, is that your favourite? Do you have a favourite? But
that is my favourite, only because my auntie, my dad's sister, Auntie Susie Betts, designed that jersey.
Beautiful.
In Sir Doug Nichols round, and the club invited them to the game and to the president's lunch, and my father as well, my grandmother.
Yeah.
All came and watch us, win that game and kick that goal in their jersey. But it was weird. Like I thought it was going to go out, but I slid and kept it in. There was two parts of that.
Well, that's questionable. I don't know what you...
There's two parts about that I like, though, because Mitch, if you watch Mitch McGovern in that play, he's running on ice skates, and he said he's still waiting for his royalties from that because he was in that, but he said he just couldn't run and he was trying to. And then when I snapped it, Tom Lynch is standing like this, passed me the ball, and he's all by himself. I just didn't see him. And I kicked it over his head and it went through.
It was just a wonderful moment in football. Let's go to the last 2019 versus the Suns. This is round 5, Adelaide.
Here's Sloane into the pocket. Eddie Harbrow. Eddie. You're a magician. That's
Eddie,
what the crowd wanted.
You love getting the crowd involved, and we see this often, but when you do it, you seem to want to share the moment and celebrate with the crowd after something mercurial like that.
Yeah, well, if you see, right then, I'm tracing back when I was watching it. So by the time I turn around, the crowd's right there. But I do enjoy getting to the pockets and kicking. And that one just fell on my lap. Harbrow punched it and I turned and it dropped. Then what's special about that? That was my 300th game. Over in Adelaide, and my whole family, my dad, my mum, was sitting behind those goals up on the hill, and to kick that, my 6th, I think, and I know. That was my 6th. That was my 6th, and to see it sail through, it was.
Have you got one that didn't win that you thought should have won?
All of them. 5 or 6. I think that Sydney one this year, that was pretty good. That I got in one hand and gathered and turned.
Oh, that was amazing.
This one here, I kind of with one hand on the pocket, which was pretty hard.
That's a very good
hard
goal.
to do. So if the AFL want to, just give me goal of the year to go out and bang again this year. So one hand. Like that. So
that could easily do it.
Yeah, you could easily just do it.
Back in the day, there used to be all sorts of lavish prizes awarded to the goal of the year. Did you win anything of any significance for any of those goals of the year?
I got a funny story about my first goal of the year. Is that I won a car at the Toyota Orion.
Right.
And, I think 3 years before that, they started introducing the car, and 3 years the guys who won it sold the car. Daniel Wells sold it the year before for that Fremantle.
Oh, yeah.
And so they knew that they were selling it, so they only gave it for me for a year. So the year I won it, they said, "No, you're not keeping it. We'll just give it to you for a year." So I got stitched up.
You weren't going to be honest with us. Would you have sold it?
Yeah.
Nah.
No, right.
It was a cool car.
Yeah,
It was a
you're
cool
right.
car.
You know what they did with it after a year? They gave it to Chris Judd.
Can I ask? There's been some talk of renaming this medal the Eddie Betts medal for Goal of the Year. Would you enjoy that? Do you think that's appropriate?
No, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it is.
I
reckon it should.
Yeah, I think it should.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, well, if you think it is, then...
I mean, with all due respect to Phil Manasseh, who kicked one absolute blinder, I mean...
I think it'd be
I got
great.
4 and 5 runner-ups.
There you go, exactly.
And instead of a medal, there should be something to honour you. And I'm thinking about the baggy goals.
Yeah, I love it.
The baggy goals that you could just give to the winner.
Just for a year. Just for a year.
That's beautiful.
That's nice.
Right, I'm going to pop your windows out the back a little later. Well,
Like Joffa's jacket.
When you get home, can you pop those on and stick a photo on Instagram for us?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Thank you very
Notice
much.
that for all those goals of the year, all those great goals, you never kicked it from Eddie's pocket. So why was it called Eddie's? Why was it your pocket?
Yeah, I think it started... I think it was a showdown.
Right, yeah.
Where it was a close game and I ended up kicking a few goals from their pocket to win the game.
Okay,
and then I kicked another few from there and then they just named it. Yeah, but the other 3 goal of the years on the...
The other one. Hey, you mentioned earlier that when you came to the footy club, you couldn't read and write. Of all the things you've done in your time in footy, you're now the author of kids' books.
Yes.
How proud are you? Not only of the
Show us the
journey,
books,
hold the
Eddie.
books
I got
up.
2.
You can get. We'll tell you where to get them from. How proud are you of the fact that your name is on kids' books that are going to be read by thousands and thousands of children around Australia and hopefully around the world?
Yeah, I am pretty proud. You know, I've always wanted to write a children's book, and you know, these come about where this is the story of just how I live my life, and that's treating everyone equally, acceptance, you know, be treated how you want to be treated, and be kind to one another.
Yep.
And it raps. And it's very catchy too, and that came pretty easily. It was putting it because it was about my life and the way that I treat everyone. And there's different characters in the book, different nationalities, so kids can see themselves in these books, and that's what we wanted. And yeah, so and that book is called My Kind, and then I kept getting racially abused when I was in South Australia. And so I thought to myself, how could I educate people? How can I teach people about my culture so they can start that conversations in school? And I said, I'll write a second book about Aboriginal culture so that we can try get into schools and try educate kids and start those conversations young. Because no one's born racist. They've always learned it along the way somewhere, and we need to start these conversations. And so that's why the second book come along, and it's just teaching people about the way that we live, what our flag represents, the way that we lived off the land, our spirituality, and just giving, you know, a little taste of Aboriginal culture so they can start those conversations in school. So, and now we're in the process of turning it into a cartoon series.
Oh, really?
Fantastic.
That's great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The next Bluey, hopefully. The next Bluey, hopefully.
Good stuff. Mate, we can't thank you enough for coming on. And we have focused exclusively tonight on what you've done on the field. But as you're showing us now and hinted, what you've done off the field is as important or more important. And you've been amazing. You've developed into such a great leader. It was heartbreaking to see you so exhausted the other day. And we just want you to keep going because everyone needs you, and we just can't thank you enough for what you do for our community and your own. So thank you very much.
I guess in saying that, like, I'm going to keep fighting no matter what.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am as a person. I'll stick up for my family, my culture and my people. But it's not up to me, it's up to everyone else as well to chip in and do their part. And the more people that chip in and do their part, the more likely we're going to stamp racism out here in Australia. So,
for every person, Eddie, for every person who loves this game, we've all got a debt of gratitude to pay you for you giving us what you gave us as fans of footy, mate. So it's been a joy to have you on the show tonight. Hopefully we'll see you down the track a lot. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thanks, guys. I'll be enjoying coming back on here.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
For Goal of the Year this year.
Eddie Betts, everybody, one of the game's great treasures. Don't go anywhere. On the other side of this, Nick Mulkey.